time ever meeting between these two great champions. And who brought it to you? Pacific Coast Wrestling.
The following is the main event contest for PCW. Clear the way. Your official is Senior Official Rick Knox. This bout scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit for the PCW Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, our challenger. He hails from Battle Creek, Michigan, weighing 235 pounds. He is the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. His opponent, he is the current reigning, defending PCW Heavyweight Champion. From Mexico, he is international wrestling sensation. He weighed in earlier today at 185 pounds. Your champion, Pentagon Jr. One fall for the PCW title.
Boy, oh boy, Todd Kennelly, it's time. We've been waiting months and months for this. Every fan on their feet. Let's listen to this crowd.
An electric atmosphere as Senior Official Rick Knox about to show us all what it's all about. The Pacific Coast Wrestling Heavyweight Championship on the line. Cero Miedo in this historic first defense. I ran down the accomplishments of Van Dam. Let me give equal time to the champion, Pentagon Jr., a former AAA Latin American champion, mixed tag team champion, world tag team champion, and of course, what's really on the line here tonight, he's the first ever PCW Heavyweight Champion. What a way to have to defend that title in your first defense. This is unbelievable.
Muchos problemas para Pentagon Jr., and if he has no fear, he may have some today because this guy's a Hall of Famer that he's in the ring with. Man, this is such a good matchup, Todd.
Great matchup in the ring and certainly on the outside with this crowd response. This one is special. I'll tell you what, I'm happy just to be here with you, Christian Cole, a chance to call this. This is true magic. This is what professional wrestling is all about.
Such an honor, Todd Kennelly, as these two warriors now touch foreheads in the middle of the ring, measuring each other up. There will be no intimidation in this match. Neither of these men will budge.
Pentagon Jr. really didn't even have time to celebrate his win and enjoy it because it was immediately announced once he won the title that the next in line was this man, one of the most decorated men in the history of the sport, Rob Van Dam. Both guys come in looking fantastic. What a match this should be. Rob Van Dam bringing a lot of attention, the eyes of the wrestling world on this matchup. Eyes on him, Rob Van Dam. And Cero Miedo answering. But Cero Miedo, you know, great matches put PCW on the map. Cero Miedo winning the title made it international. It made press in Mexico with AAA. He has been a great champion. And this is his first defense, and it couldn't be any bigger. Van Dam swing and a miss. Roll up there by Pentagon Jr. And the two are mixing it up early. Not much of a feeling out process. Attempted leg drop. Another attempted kick. Moonsault there by Van Dam. Connects into the pinning combination. Action is hot and heavy early on.
It absolutely is, as now Pentagon Jr. getting tripped up by Van Dam. Oh, and a catch mate. A stalemate, a catch game in the middle of the ring. And these fans appreciate every bit of it.
Well, if it is tic-tac-toe, they couldn't get three moves in a row here, could they? Counter wrestling expertise in the early going.
Look at this.
Oh, I love it.
Innovative takedown by Rob.
Love that body scissors. And now maybe Almost a variation of a hip toss, but a drop toe hold in there as well. And again, back to square one.
And look at the eyes of Pentagon Jr. This man is crazy.
Yeah, I'd rather not look at his eyes. They're scary. And he's got the eyes of an intense, focused champion. He didn't come here to lose the title in his first defense. I don't care how big of a star Van Dam is.
But a big star Van Dam is. But it's worth mentioning that Pentagon Jr., his stock has never been higher, one of the biggest stars in the world. As Rob now telling Pentagon, I have no fear. And Pentagon using Rob's taunt against him. Oh!
Nice spinning kick there by Van Dam. Baseball slide, drop kick. And Van Dam will take to the fight to the outside. He will take it and make it extreme, but so will Cero Miedo.
And Pentagon now stalking his opponent, stalking RVD. Picking him up now from the ground here, setting him up here actually.
The champion is measuring Van Dam. Van Dam hit that apron hard, one of the hardest points in the ring. And now a big strike there by the champion. And he
is
may
that the
have,
hardest part of the ring? I never heard that.
well, outside of the post. And you know, if the champ does have Cero Miedo, I'm sure he had some butterflies coming into this title defense. But those might be quilled now as he's taking it to the challenger, Van Dam.
And here we are in Torrance, California, the hub for the Hispanic community and the American community coming together. Half this crowd supporting the Mexican star and Pentagon Jr., the other half the crowd supporting the WWE Hall of Famer, Rob Van Dam.
Reversal now by Van Dam, the champion, tasting the barricade. Yes, they may differ in their support, but there's no question that every fan in here respects both champion and challenger.
My God, and it didn't take long, Todd Kennelly. This thing's already out on the outside into the chairs.
Well, Van Dam, he feels right at home out here, although the champ taking it to him. Van Dam probably feels like he's in the Bingo Hall or Hammerstein Ballroom with this action.
And the action is certainly getting extreme now, Todd Kennelly, as these two warriors are brawling on the outside. We're having trouble from our vantage point getting a sense of the action, but these two are now just really taking it to each other as all the fans surround them. Put your phones away, you idiots. Watch with your eyes.
Referee Rick Knox right out there with him. This thing not sniffing the ring at this point. You can't win or retain the title out there, but you can certainly do some damage.
And what will we see here on the outside? As now Rob Van Dam reeling and getting sent over the rail back into the outer ring area.
Oh, and Van Dam with a big counter. He hung the champion out to dry. I think the throat right across the barricade. So another resourceful move by the challenger Van Dam, and he certainly knows how to use his surroundings as a weapon and oftentimes a launch pad.
Of course, Rob Van Dam, an extreme veteran.
Oh, look out. They're coming over this way now.
They're coming towards us here. And what's going on here is as Pentagon Jr. sets him up against the ring post.
Oh, quiet, please. Oh. What a chop there by the champion.
Otra vez. The crowd wants an otra, and they might get one.
Oh, my goodness. He hit the post, and did you hear that? He might have shattered every bone in that hand, Christian Cole.
That really did sound like he broke a bone in his hand. I know what it sounds like when there's contact with the pole, but I heard a different noise there, a cracking. And will that right hand come back to haunt Pentagon Jr. in his defense of his heavyweight title?
What is the challenger looking for? The challenger going under the ring. I mean, this is not Van Dam, a former hardcore champion as well. This is not Extreme Rules, but you're going to disqualify somebody here? I don't think so,
no
Christian.
Way, no way. Rick Knox is no stranger to championship matches. He's going to call this thing to the finish in a chair to the gut. And what is Rob Van Dam thinking here?
Well, he's got so many weapons. And just jamming that chair right into the midsection of the champion.
Oh, will we see the vintage maneuver by Rob?
Oh, my goodness! A Van Daminator of sorts. Didn't need the assist by the champion there. Took care of it all on his own, did the challenger.
That's exactly right. Shades of the late 90s and early 2000s. If you're a pro wrestling fan like me that grew up watching Rob Van Dam, it is an absolute honor to be here and see him doing what he's doing here. Now sending Pentagon into the corner. Oh!
That post is not doing the champion any favors in this matchup.
From the pole to the face first maneuver into the chair. Rob Van Dam going for a kick, and now what's he thinking here?
As if to say, here you go, champ, take a load off.
Oh, look at the look on his face here. Rob knows what he wants to do here.
Full head of steam by the challenger. Van Dam dive to the outside. Scores with a DDT. And man, did Van Dam fly.
And Pentagon Jr. in a world of hurt as he is out on the outside of the ring, reeling, needing to gather his senses after that modified Van Daminator and then taking that dive. I mean, Pentagon Jr.'s at a disadvantage now.
Well, Van Dam is bringing the extreme here to the champion. Oh my goodness, and shades out of his buddy Sabu's playbook.
Wow.
Throwing some serious heat right across the plate.
And Pentagon Jr., you have to ask, did he know this is what he would be getting himself into when he won the PCW heavyweight title? Did he know that Rob Van Dam would be coming and stalking him with a chair? And now Rob lifting his opponent, lifting the champion back towards the ring.
Well, that's the thing. First ever meeting of these two. Van Dam catching him to break the count, even though there wasn't one, and get him right back out there. Oh, Van Dam. We've seen this. Gonna hang him out to dry.
And what is this? What will we see here?
Oh, let them eat cake. I think we might have a little guillotine leg drop action. On the money.
And referee Rick Knox might as well come do commentary with us because he's letting everything go, and God bless him for it.
No
we want
doubt.
to see a finish to this match, Todd.
This is what you want out of Van Dam, bringing the extreme. We saw a little innovator of violence, a little dropkick a la Tommy Dreamer, a little Sabu, and a whole lot of RVD, and he's taking it to the champ. And this has really taken Pentagon Jr. out of his game plan. Pentagon Jr. hasn't ever been the same since chopping that post.
It's really true. We've seen Pentagon Jr. favoring his head after those chair shots. We've seen him favoring his knee after that dive. His entire body from head to toe beat up, and the crowd now getting behind him.
I wonder how badly injured that hand is. I mean, can Cero Miedo even hook him in that Fear Factor cradle powerbomb?
It's a great point, Todd Kennelly. It'll be really interesting to see if he's too damaged to really put any offense back into Rob. Van Dam now sending him to the rope.
The fans are split, but the time of possession has favored the challenger thus far, but not so fast. Sling blade. He's talking with his actions, and I like the way he talks. And again, the second sling blade into the cover. Champ almost puts him away.
Incredible action. Referee Rick Knox telling us it's only two. Pentagon Jr. just seeming to look confused on how to put this guy away. I mean, this is his only time he's really had the advantage in the match. He needs to put Rob away quick.
But there was a fumble on the play, and now recovery by the champion, and the chair back into play here, Christian Cole. And revenge on the mind of the champ.
Certainly revenge on the mind of Pentagon Jr. Setting that chair up. Shades of what we saw earlier in Rob Van Dam's offense. But now Pentagon going up to the top for high risk.
Oh man, he was looking for La Lanza. That double stomp to honor Hijo de Perro Aguayo, but nobody home.
And now Pentagon Jr. rolling over towards the corner. Not really knowing what to do here against this certain future Hall of Famer in Rob Van Dam. Van Dam asking for a chair. Oh my God. And now two chairs in the ring, guys.
I don't think the champion was prepared for this type of violence. And now he's rolling all right. Rolling Thunder by Van Dam.
And we've seen Van Dam year in and year out use that Rolling Thunder maneuver to put opponents away. Will he be able to crawl over for the cover? Yes. Will we see a 3 count?
History coming.
No, not yet. And Rob Van Dam And Pentagon Jr. sharing the same thought now. How to put this guy away.
Similar to what Mr. 450 had to do with Oracle earlier. Another classic in the making here in our main event. At Pacific Coast Wrestling, clear the way.
Now Rob with an Irish whip and Pentagon Jr. springboard counter here. Oh my God.
Able to hit the backstabber. And Pentagon Jr. going for the ride there and using all the momentum and the body weight to take down the challenger.
Certainly he has, and kudos to both of these warriors for going at it. I mean, what a co-main event we had between Mr. 450 and the Oracle, and these guys they're raising the bar even higher.
Certainly have. Everything been incredible for that lunacy with Kevin Sullivan and company earlier. What a leg kick. And you might take a star or two off of that frog splash if that continues.
Look at now, as Pentagon Jr. literally uses the fuel of the crowd to re-energize, to get himself in a position to win this heavyweight championship, to retain.
And Van Dam, again, isn't accustomed to eating those kicks as of late. He's in great shape. He's in great condition, but is he in ring shape? It's different when you start eating shots.
It certainly is. Look at Rob here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, RVD.
Split-legged moonsault.
Cover.
Oh, man, that was close.
Just a 2 count. And just a 2 count from Rob Van Dam as he's pulling out all of his maneuvers from over the years.
Van Dam's playing the hits tonight, isn't he?
He certainly is. And now the crowd getting behind these two warriors as Rob Van Dam tries to get to his feet and find a way to win this PCW Heavyweight Championship.
Challenger playing the hits and laying them in as well. And a little receipt, leg kicks back and forth. Trying to chop down the foundation. And not too many guys can hang with the educated feet of Van Dam, but Cero Miedo has done just that. And again, wow.
I'm speechless. This is incredible. Rob Van Dam eating a huge kick there, but back up to his feet, throwing a strike and a counter by Pentagon Jr.
Oh, wow, look at that! Pentagon driver! Oh! Dan Masters was grabbing for the title. The mallet was out to ring the bell. This thing was almost over. One of his signatures, the Pentagon driver, couldn't put him away.
And look at the face of Rob Van Dam as he's now wondering what he needs to do. As he scales the corner turnbuckle, Pentagon Jr. stalking him from behind. A handful of hair by Pentagon Jr., our champion.
I mean, is this one hell of a way to cap off the first year of Pacific Coast Wrestling?
Incredible.
Are you as amazed as I am that a company that's still in its infancy can offer a main event like this? Unbelievable.
Only in our 5th show, and we're seeing a classic match of the year contender here by Rob Van Dam and Pentagon Jr. Rob fighting him off in the corner. What is this?
Oh, my God!
Oh my goodness.
Van Dam has done a lot of rolling in his day, but he just blazed him up.
And Van Dam just not able to get over for the cover quick enough as both men felt everything from that maneuver there. Rob Van Dam looking like he's sort of out of sight, not really knowing what to do next.
You know, that's the thing. There's a lot of film on Van Dam for Cero Miedo to study. Most veterans rest on their laurels. They go back to their playbook. Van Dam, I've never seen him do that flip pile driver, and then there is the Van Daminator in its true form.
Incredible Van Daminator. And now Pentagon Jr. on his back, and what is Rob Van Dam thinking here?
From the new and the innovative to the tried and true, Van Dam going upstairs. Is he gonna smoke the competition? Is he gonna make history here tonight? 5-star frog splash, he hit it! He connected! 1, 2, yes!
Oh my God! A new champion!
This place has gone bananas.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new Pacific Coast Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam.
Christian Cole, what a main event. Title number 22 for winning championships for Rob Van Dam. Well, it's been a chronic condition.
It certainly has, as Rob Van Dam has vaporized his opponent here and is now adorning the PCW Heavyweight Championship. And you know what this means, Todd. This means at our next show in January on the 20th in 2017, it'll be Rob Van Dam defending his heavyweight title against Willie Mack.
Oh, unbelievable, but right now, history made. But referee Rick Knox allowing the champion to bow out with grace here after an incredible gutsy title defense, attempted title defense.
What an incredible show of respect, Todd.
That translates in any language. What a night, what a fight, what a moment.
Thank you, fans in the South Bay. Thank you, Pentagon Jr. That was not easy, but it was my plan because I figured if I could take this heavyweight championship belt tonight, well, it looks to me like I found a new home. To sum it up, so that my words aren't twisted around like they are in every online interview, what I'm saying is RVD is PCW.
This PCW title means as much to him as any title he's worn in his career.
It's been a revival, it's been a rebirth for Rob Van Dam, who for some time, you know, he seemed happy to be on the sidelines, but there was something about PCW and the level of competition here that brought him off of the beach here in Southern California, put him back in the ring. But then he had to question, can I really do it? Goes out there, defeats one of the top international stars in Pentagon Jr. Now you mentioned, yes, RVD's had 2 months to prepare for Willie Mack, to study Willie Mack, but nothing can prepare you to get hit by that Mack truck.
Absolutely, yeah, like Todd Kennedy said, nearly 60 days now since Rob Van Dam won that heavyweight championship. And for Willie Mack, will he have a hometown advantage? Will being here in Southern California for this huge opportunity be an advantage for Willie?
It could be, but obviously there's going to be a lot of mutual respect for Willie Mack and RVD.
The crowd's going crazy already, dueling chants.
Well, there you hear the support for the hometown hero, Willie Mack. And now it switches to the other side for RVD. Got a feeling these guys could stand here for 10 minutes, never touch each other, and the fans would all still be on their feet. This thing like a powder keg ready to explode.
It really is. Both men adorning trunks, or rather Willie adorning the trunks with the blue and white. Rob Van Dam in the singlet, blue and white. Ladies and gentlemen, for Todd Kennedy, my name is Christian Cole. We are presenting to you now PCW Phantasm, January 20th, 2017. A day where we saw a president inaugurated for the first time in 8 years, and we may see a new champion inaugurated in the King of Los Angeles, Willie Mack.
Well, and as we celebrate the inaugural event of PCW 1 year ago and how this company has grown, the crowd has grown, and this is one heck of a main event, fitting of our first anniversary.
The anticipation in the building, you could feel the anticipation as Rob lets everybody know exactly who they're dealing with. A future Hall of Famer A man with some of the best and most lethal kicks in professional wrestling history.
And Van Dam, we found, as we mentioned, a lengthy layoff. He came back, he showed no ring rust. In fact, he proved that he was more dangerous.
Roll up here.
Mack looking for the quick win.
And look how smart Mack is to use all of his leverage on that schoolboy, putting his entire 282-pound body on the legs of Rob Van Dam. And that, what is that?
Van Dam saying maybe he pulled the singlet. You know, Willie Mack showing, though, playing the mind games too. Willie Mack, we said, not going to be starstruck, and you saw it there saying, hey, RVD, I was this close.
Yeah, I remember a time when Willie Mack would be asking this guy for his autograph. Willie's grown up a lot over the last few years. Of course, in 2012, Willie Mack losing his father, affectionately known as Foots, and in that next week winning a major television title. And in that speech was one of the most incredible emotional speeches that Willie Mack's ever given, finally able to earn the title, bring it home to Foots before Foots passed, just a month later actually. And for Willie Mack, that's what it is. It's an emotional investment for the fans. Everyone loves Willie. As soon as you meet him, you want to know him more. You want to hang out with him. You want to have a conversation about cartoons or pro wrestling or whatever he's into that day. And for Willie, you would think that he'd be starstruck. Again, as you said, I mean, with Rob Van Dam in the ring, this is a Hall of Famer standing across the ring. Bottom line. But for Willie, it's just not the case.
Willie just so fun-loving, but he just enjoys competing. He loves the crowd, and again, a second shoulder block. Oh, look at that!
Oh,
countered again! Van Dam goes for the leg sweep. Willie Mack might get him! That's two near falls for the challenger in the early going. You mentioned RVD knowing Willie Mack. Well, Willie Mack's been watching RVD for a long time. He's got him well scouted, Christian.
And that was incredibly close, a near fall. Again, as you said, two of them now. And for Willie Mack, he's showing real promise at the beginning of this match against the veteran Rob Van Dam. Look at Willie. Willie looks comfortable. He looks relaxed, Todd.
And Willie's smart here, Christian, staying in the ring. Not too many people outshine Rob Van Dam in the early going of a match. But Van Dam probably, you know, he likes to get you on the outside where anything goes, where he can use that environment as a weapon and use it as a launch pad. Willie Mack knows right now that the only way he's taking home that title is if he can beat RVD in the center of the ring.
And this speaks to the growth of Willie Mack. This speaks to the maturity of Willie Mack. A guy who used to buy tickets just like every one of these fans at PCW and was able to turn himself into a champion, or at least a contender at this time. Will he become a champion?
And this is not the type of start that RVD is accustomed to. He's traditionally a very quick starter. And look, Willie Mack charged right back in, trying to press the offense, but now RVD comes out of the blocks offensively, big kick, and Mack tastes the guardrail on the outside.
And now Rob stalking him on the outside. What is he going to do here?
We talked about it, Christian. This is right where Van Dam wants you, where he can take it to the extreme.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Rob Van Dam, the old 90s days where he was the ECW champion. Rob Van Dam knows violence like nobody else, but it's his lethal kicks and strikes that have made him famous. Oh, just like that.
Oh man, whoa, Willie Mack! That shot, that strike takes Willie Mack all the way over the guardrail, and he hit hard. Man. Can you believe the velocity of those educated feet of Van Dam? Incredible.
I mean, I've been watching Rob Van Dam for 20 years, and I still can't believe my eyes when I watch this man fight. Oh, slipping there. Slipping there, and now we don't have coverage from our camera. There we are.
There we go. Great work by our incredible production staff. Van Dam, though, still wasn't pretty, but caught enough of Willie Mack to drop the challenger again on the outside. And
even from our vantage point, slipping there on the top, but actually driving that elbow into the forehead of Willie. But Willie coming back, maybe a little bit of possum there by Willie Mack.
Rick Knox allowing a lot of leniency here, Christian Cole. This huge main event. We're going to want to see a winner. You don't even see him thinking about administering a count at this point.
No, absolutely not. We will see a champion here tonight decided, hopefully in the center of the ring. This is not a falls count anywhere match. But if you're Rick Knox, it's impossible to control these two guys.
You can do a lot of damage out there, though. Soften up your opponent. Champion now starts to fire back. But Willie now just burying the champion under chairs.
And for the fans of PCW that come down here and sell out these shows, what an incredible vantage point they have in the front row.
Uh-oh, look at this. Willie, like a hammerlock slam, but with the chair. Oh my gosh, on the outside.
I don't even know what to say about that. You could hear that. We're about 100 feet away. You could feel that, Todd. Mack now mocking RVD.
Trying to beat the PCW champion at his own game. And Willie Mack proving that he's somewhat of an innovator of offense in his own right.
Certainly he is. I mean, how many 282-pound men do you know can do a standing moonsault? Other than maybe Fatu and Willie Mack.
Yeah, I'd throw Jeff Cobb in there and maybe Kratos, and that's about it. No more.
All names here that you could see only at PCW.
You're not kidding, buddy. Back and forth action on the outside. I mean, it looks like a mosh pit out there. They've cleared these chairs. I mean, it's like a gladiator arena in the middle of the Memorial Hall.
A big scooping super kick there by RVD, followed up by a couple of big forearms. Look at this, they're surrounded by humanity. Oh my God, another one. Reckless abandon with these strikes, throwing his entire body weight into the jaw of Willie Mack, and Willie might be out.
Vicious kick there by Mr. PCW, Rob Van Dam, the reigning champ. He's got Willie Mack down, but you can't think that he's out. We've seen Willie battle back so many times, time and time again. He's battled back through life, let alone in and outside the ring. And this match means so much to him, but right now, Van Dam doing exactly what he wants. Willie Mack, though, counters with the backdrop.
Willie Mack, such a great story. From the bus to the limousine. I mean, this is a guy who took public transportation to get to all of his shows back in the day. Now featured as one of the highest paid professional wrestlers in the world is Willie Mack. Certainly in this great company, Pacific Coast Wrestling, we're watching Willie and RVD go at it. Just the sound of that. Willie Mack versus Rob Van Dam. Incredible story from Willie.
Well, Willie Mack, he's gone most recently from Lucha Warfare to just Warfare here in PCW with RVD. The way this thing's going, I don't know if we're in Memorial Hall or a bingo hall. This is a bit of a throwback thus far, and I guess RVD, the champion, was a little bit parched.
Willie Mack curing that parchedness with a little water to the face as they brawl here on the outside. Oh, big line there. Oh, man. Oh, you could feel Rob's body hit the concrete.
Maybe a little buyer's remorse there for the champion. A kick by RVD sent Willie Mack over that rail earlier, and now the shoe is on the other foot, and Willie Mack, the challenger, in control of this matchup. Not too many people can get the better of Van Dam on the outside in that anything-goes environment, Christian.
And it's a testament to Willie Mack's ability to study his opponents. A lot of guys think he's just a brawler, that he's just a fun-loving guy who fights based on purely on inspiration, but it's not. He's educated. He watches these guys. He studies tape constantly. Willie Mack, the thing is that Rob Van Dam has a lot more tape out there than Willie Mack. And Willie Mack has been studying him for the last 2 months. And is this the night, Todd Kennelly? Is this the night that Willie Mack wins the big one?
That's the question on the minds of the multitudes here in Wilmington. That's what packed this venue, to see this, to answer that question. Is this the night that Willie Mack makes magic, that he finally ascends to the top of the mountain and wins the big one?
Certainly seems that way right now, Todd. And getting driven right now into the guardrail. Nice counter by Rob Van Dam.
Van Dam, in his first PCW title defense, finds himself in an absolute war. Now, we know that Van Dam is capable of lengthy title reigns. He held the ECW television title for 700 days. I don't know if he faced anything quite like Chocolate Thunder. Not a suplex on the outside. Hangs him up to dry. And this is right where Van Dam wants you. Call Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake, because I gotta believe we got ourselves a guillotine coming.
And look at Van Dam now, setting him up. And Willie Mack's in trouble.
Van Dam playing the hits and laying them all over Willie Mack, and he hit it to perfection. He might have slipped earlier. He didn't slip that time.
Just like we spoke about low-key earlier in our card this evening, there is not a single wasted movement from Rob Van Dam. This is how he's extended his career for so long. Almost nearly a certain Hall of Famer, able to come in here and win the heavyweight championship against Pentagon Jr. And on that same night, it was Willie Mack who became the #1 contender for the PCW heavyweight title and positioned himself to fight against one of his idols and try and take the gold back to South Central.
RVD instinctively rolling in to break the count. I'm not certain that there was one to begin with, but still veteran instincts by Van Dam, who wants to prove that he's Mr. PCW. He wants to prove he's the best. I gotta believe he wants to beat Willie Mack in the middle. Oh my goodness, look out here. Rolling thunder on the concrete.
And Rob almost feeling the effects nearly as much as Willie.
Sacrifice play there, Christian, and although they're out there on the concrete, they gotta feel like they got hit by a hot bat.
For Rob Van Dam, really just, this is what made him famous, Todd Kennelly. This is what got him where he is now, taking risks, putting his body on the line at every moment, entertaining the fans, and ultimately taking home the gold.
Van Dam has the high ground, now back to the outside. You can't give Willie Mack a second to breathe. You can't give him a chance to recuperate. We've seen him battle back from seemingly everything.
No one gave Willie a chance. Not his teachers in high school. Willie had one guy who believed in him other than his father, his football coach, one of his closest allies to this day. And will Willie bring back the title to South Central? Will he prove to his football coach and to the legacy of his late father that he could be the PCW heavyweight champion, that he could carry this company into 2018 and beyond?
Well, he's shown thus far that he certainly belongs, but what a heartbreaker it would be if he can't get it done. But a vicious kick through the uprights. I think that one was one Janikowski would be proud of. Taking all the air out of the lungs of Van Dam. Oh man, had him pinned, had that weight over him and could not put him away.
Codebreaker followed up by stacking up Rob, just too close to the corner, not enough leverage in the center of the ring. Rob able to kick out, Willie in a bad position out there. And what will Willie Mack do? Will this be his night?
What a reaction as we laid out there momentarily. The crowd eating up every second of this as both champion and challenger are eating a lot of punishment as well. What a struggle. Both guys hard pressed to even get back to their feet as they continue to trade. Rear waist lock by the champion Van Dam. Jawbreaker now. Uh-oh. Oh, it's going to be a stunning victory. Oh, he planted him. New champ coming. Van Dam in the ropes. Did body positioning save the champion there?
It absolutely did. I'm actually not sure why Rick counted. He must have not seen Van Dam's foot caught in the rope for the entirety of that 2.5 count. Caught up in the stunner, caught up in the emotion of the moment. Rick Knox missed the call there, but luckily, no controversy. Rob kicking out anyway.
What a hellacious stunner that was by the challenger, Willie Mack. That's a little something Van Dam saw back in the day, isn't it?
It really is. Oh my God. Huge left elbow to the face. Oh my God.
The champion in trouble on the ropes.
Van Dam's
literally and figuratively here, Christian.
This is big problems for Rob Van Dam and his title. Willie Mack coming in with the cannonball, catching Van Dam on that left shoulder and neck area, folding him down. Cover, 2 count. No, just a 2 count.
Another close call there for Van Dam and a close call for Willie Mack, who wants this so badly. This is everything. This is his entire life in this moment, encapsulated in this moment. Can he get it done? But Van Dam also showing the heart of a champion.
Todd, if Willie Mack wins this match, this place is going to explode.
Well, you mentioned it. Willie wearing similar colors. I think Willie wants to prove that he's Mr. PCW.
Willie not really able to get all that Irish whip.
Now Van Dam, all of a sudden the fresher of the two, this epic clash has taken so much out of both.
Beautiful high kick there, Todd. That was really pretty. Oh man, springboard into a leg drop from Van Dam.
Again, another case where Van Dam changing up the game. Thought it was going to be split-legged moonsault. There it is, on the money. One of his favorites. Is that going to do it? No, that hand was coming down.
And Rob not able to actually hook that outside leg. Fatigued as Rob Van Dam is. As every maneuver you perform on a 282-pound man is going to take it out of you. And Van Dam showing the effects of that now.
These guys fought inside the ring, outside the ring. Sacrifice plays by both men, putting their bodies on the line. What is it going to take? Van Dam misses with the roundhouse kick to the top. Atomic drop. There's,
like that,
there's a little old school, huh?
Oh, nice, inverted atomic drop. Look at that.
There goes Van Dam's social plans for the evening. One
man.
way or another, and a big drop kick there by the challenger. Much like the kick that sent the challenger over the rails earlier.
And look at the eyes of Willie Mack as he searches for the crowd's reaction, feeding from the energy of these fans, growing up just about 10 minutes down the road, moving from foster home to foster home. Willie Mack with one of the roughest upbringings you can imagine, and now a star in this industry as he sets up Rob Van Dam, tying him up in the corner.
Van Dam, yep, tied to the tree of woe, but what does Willie Mack have in oh, no way. Do you think he's gonna do this, Chris? Do you see what I'm seeing here?
Is this go coast to coast? No, he
we
can't
talked
make
about
it. He's
6-star.
There's no way he's gonna make it, Tom.
We talked about the 6-star frog splash. Don't tell me he's gonna go for the Van Terminator.
Oh my God!
Van Dam's dead. He's dead.
Oh my God, Todd. Willie Mack wants this so bad, able to pull it out, diving across the ring.
And if he does it with one of Van Dam's own moves, Willie Mack, 282 pounds, coast to coast, and he's gonna take home the gold. No! A man his size is not supposed to do that. And incredible, we talked about Willie Mack being influenced by RVD. You saw it there. A heavyweight competitor going coast to coast is unthinkable, especially with what he's gone through in this matchup already, Christian.
And where is Van Dam's head right now other than with a bunch of cobwebs? Van Dam, no idea where he is right now, as this battle has taken everything out of him.
And Willie Mack now, what's it gonna take? Throwing his best, throwing Van Dam's best at the champion. He's with everything on the line. Can he find one more shot at whatever it's gonna take to put away this legend? What better way to finally become champion than by doing it by beating an absolute legend, Christian Cole? Can he do it?
Willie now charging in, but taking a boot. And can Willie Mack find it here?
Uh-oh, Van Dam not where you want to be.
Oh my God, that's bad for Willie there. That's trouble.
And that buys the champion some time. That mouthpiece not going to offer much protection there against Van Dam.
And now Van Dam grabbing a chair. And this speaks to the competition in the center of the ring. As much as Willie Mack looks like he might be out, Van Dam thinks he needs a chair to come in. Maybe some old vintage Van Dam we're going to see here.
Well, we already saw it, but we saw it from Willie Mack. Hit that Van Terminator. That was one for the ages. Look out here, maybe Van Daminator. Nobody home there. Willie Mack catches him. Exploder suplex.
Willie Mack screaming out, and the sound of his voice echoing off the Memorial PCW Hall here in Wilmington. And will this be his moment as he stalks Rob Van Dam?
Do you feel it, Christian Cole? I feel it. It's Willie Mack's night. He's been ahead of the champion. He's got him up here. Samoan drop. Don't tell me, can he do it? Oh, yeah. Little showstopper indeed into perhaps a hot, oh, man.
And for Willie, what else does he have to do? Look at the shock and dismay in the face of Willie Mack as he interrogates the referee, asking if it was over, only a 2 count.
Both of these men know exactly what they're in there with now. Willie Mack knows that he is in there with a true legend, RVD, that lives up to the billing. And RVD knows that he is in there with somebody hell-bent on taking his gold and living his dream.
But for Willie Mack, the dream has lasted so long. For Willie Mack, it began nearly 3 decades ago.
All the scissors into the cover.
Oh my God.
Great
That's
counter
gross.
by RVD. Yes, go ahead, Christian. Uh-oh.
Oh no! Oh no! Did Rob Van Dam just crush and terminate the dreams of Willie Mack with that huge spinning back kick? The Van Terminator.
Oh my goodness.
Van Daminator rather, now Rob.
That could be the beginning of the end. Yeah, no imitation there is the sincerest form of flattery. That was the original. 5-star frog splash. That's how he put away Pentagon Jr. Can he beat Willie Mack? Yes. Oh my gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and still Pacific Coast Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Mr. PCW, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam. One fall for the PCW.
The heck is going on here?
What is the music playing for?
More audio issues.
What the hell? What is John Hennigan doing here?
And have signed on for a championship match against the winner of this match in this very ring on June 2nd.
Hennigan getting a title match at Showdown.
We're supposed to be luck, and whichever one of you walks out with the PCW championship is going to be walking into a war on June 2nd.
And there it is, breaking news as the show develops. John Hennigan promising that a contract has already been signed. It'll be Hennigan versus the winner of this match for the PCW Heavyweight Championship at Showdown on June 2nd. And these two now squaring up as history unfolds here at Pacific Coast Wrestling. A fist bump and a sign of sportsmanship between these two great competitors as they mix it up for the very first time.
A little over 1 year ago, Christian Cole, would you have ever dreamt that we would have MVP versus Rob Van Dam for the PCW Heavyweight Championship? Unbelievable, and here we go, man. You can cut the tension. It is palpable.
Well, this is for all the marbles, Todd. I mean, the PCW Heavyweight title, the inaugural year for this title, it saw Pentagon El Zero M as the first ever champion. But in his first defense, Rob Van Dam took that title away from him. And after defending his title successfully, Rob Van Dam now enters the squared circle against MVP, his biggest challenge to date. For the first time ever, these two about to mix it up.
Both of these two know they're such great veterans. They know that fools rush in, taking their time. They don't want to make that pivotal first mistake. And again, they've never been in the ring one-on-one, so you get a bit of a feeling out process here, Christian.
Yeah, standard collar and elbow tie-up between Rob Van Dam and MVP. And Porter now able to turn him around and put Van Dam in the corner.
And if you would, Christian Cole, obviously you know both men very well what they can do inside the squared circle. Talk keys to success for both men, if you would, in this big main event.
Well, for MVP with his troubled past and all the pain and anguish that MVP has overcome, overcoming an opponent like Rob Van Dam is just days' work for MVP. And for Rob Van Dam needs to use his home crowd and the energy here in Los Angeles to power him up, to get him above the hump, and to be able to retain that title. And right now, Rob Van Dam's strategy with that wrist lock in the back, that hammer lock,
Van Dam
working.
Trying to break him down. Nice counter wrestling into the fireman's carry by MVP. Now the bridge to escape the pinning attempt by Van Dam. Rolling through, shoulders not down yet, but able to neutralize, yes.
Almost in a triangle there.
and the legs freakishly strong of Van Dam. Again, we talked about rudimentary moves in the hands of the right person can be devastating. You don't want to be in a head scissors with Van Dam.
There's a reason that the veteran Rob Van Dam can still do this. There's a reason that he is as good as he is as the PCW heavyweight champion. It's because of that core. It's because of those legs. The strength in the thighs of Rob Van Dam has always been his best ally. And Van Dam now using that thigh on that right knee and able now to pin down Porter.
Great mat work in the early going, counter wrestling. Van Dam, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Sinks in the head scissors again. But is this a pace that you would think would favor MVP?
No, absolutely not, Todd. This is Rob Van Dam's game so far. MVP with a really fancy counter, able to get out now, and a little showboating, and that's MVP's game. He wants to get in your head. And if he can, he wants to brawl with you. And so for Rob should try to keep this in the ring, at least for now. But if you're MVP, it might not be smart to try to brawl with Rob Van Dam. You put a steel chair near Rob Van Dam and some creative stuff starts to happen.
Van Dam in his previous PCW matches, winning the title from Penta El Zero M, and his defense against Willie Mack. He did take it to the extreme. He took it to the outside. MVP perhaps going to try and nullify that and keep it in the ring. MVP, we mentioned, the first ever IWGP Intercontinental Champion. So he has wrestled in the land of the rising sun. He's well versed in submissions and that strong style striking.
And MVP now trying to counter this rear waist lock by Van Dam, but Van Dam just decides to transition into a side headlock. In a vertical position, Van Dam switching to that right arm and now going right back into the hammer lock. And Van Dam so far displaying incredible wrestling skills.
Van Dam showing a lot of poise and patience, the poise of a champion, and that's what this main event matchup is all about, the PCW heavyweight title. And as we've seen throughout the evening, sometimes when you're evenly matched, it can come down to fundamental wrestling, Christian.
It really can, and I'm actually surprised. Oh, look at that. Beautiful sweeping transition there. With that leg, that body scissors.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
And I like it. A little gamesmanship between these two veterans. These two internationally tested warriors.
Often talked about, Christian, especially when you're evenly matched. This truly is that human game of chess that the living legend Larry Zbyszko often spoke about.
And this is exactly the type of match that Zbyszko would have booked, the type of match that he would have loved. These two large heavyweights, these two veterans, and to be able to see them go at it for the first time ever is MVP now dropping in some big knees. MVP with an Irish whip, follows into the corner, misses though with that leg. Oh, wow.
Van Dam doesn't, however. Van Dam will hit you like a runaway freight train springboard. Well, at least the rope held up.
Rope did hold on that time. Again, if you're just joining us, folks, and you're wondering if you're seeing something weird, oh, well, look at this. We'll get right back to it. Let's see what MVP does here. And, oh, wow, just dropping him like the Ultimate Warrior right behind him. That press into a drop, and Rob taking all that on the chest.
Yeah, I don't think competitors took it too kindly when Warrior did, and I don't think Van Dam. And now again, you see with no bottom rope.
That's what I was going to talk about. The idea that the rope is missing, and that happened earlier tonight. Willie Mack went for a springboard enziguri and just snapped that bottom rope. Actually, it was the middle rope that snapped. We moved the bottom rope up to the middle. We're trying to make do here. We were not, oh, look at this.
Springboard plancha by MVP trying to steal a page out of the RVD playbook.
We weren't going to cancel this match. We wanted to make sure to give our fans this championship match they've been waiting a couple months to see. And with two ropes, I mean, is that an advantage for either wrestler, Todd?
Well, it clearly was an advantage for MVP with that kick as it sent Van Dam to the outside. But right now, MVP is playing a dangerous game, although he's got the advantage because, of course, on the surrounding area outside the ring is usually Van Dam's personal playground.
Well, I would actually, I agree with that comment, but it's also MVP's playground. I mean, who's better at brawling than MVP? And MVP now setting up Rob in the corner. And those dangerous metal gates. Oh, no.
Oh,
and right on cue, we see that metal gate go right into the nuts and berries of MVP, followed up by a big kick to the back of the head. And Rob Van Dam's in good shape here.
MVP's not going to need that auto-tune to hit the high notes in his music career after that. We talked about it, Van Dam using the surroundings as a weapon to get the advantage, and as we've seen in his previous PCW encounters, Van Dam can turn the tide of a matchup in a hurry out here.
Look at this, these hockey punches, dirty boxing by Rob Van Dam, and Rob now.
Somebody cue Marie Antoinette, here comes the guillotine.
And what's the champion thinking here?
Oh yeah, let him eat cake and eat the floor at that.
And Rob Van Dam showing the effects of this match, which has been grueling thus far, as are all the PCW Heavyweight Championship matches that we've seen. I mean, it was no small feat beating Penta El Zero M for that title a couple months back.
And then a breathtaking title defense against Willie Mack. So to your point, Christian Cole, right now, as in recent history, MVP has lower mileage on his veteran body than the champion, and the champion goes crumbling down again.
That's exactly right, Todd, and MVP is known for that Yakuza kick, and he's landed a couple of them already tonight, and that one might be the one that swings the momentum in his favor, but Rob now really just powdering out to the crowd, and if MVP wants this championship, he's going to have to get him back to the center of the ring.
Yeah, but the damage can be done out there as well. On what has already been a wild night, the challenger in control of the champion. On the outside where anything goes, senior official Rick Knox right there keeping an eye on the action, and there's plenty of it.
And our fans here are getting a treat. These two are brawling on the outside, and now what's MVP thinking here? Great job by our production to pick this up here. Getting a good shot now of Rob in a precarious position. Oh wow,
man.
And another Yakuza kick right to the jaw and temple of the champion.
That Masachono style mafia kick right to the grill of Rob Van Dam. And the challenger, to your point earlier, he's got the champion prone here. He's got him in essence lifeless, but he's got to drag him back to the ring, get him in there, and either pin him 1, 2, 3 or force him to submit if he wants to stake his claim to the PCW title.
And these two now brawling on the outside, and referee Rick Knox, he's like the rest of us. He wants to see a winner here, and he is following the action very closely on the outside as they brawl. And it's incredible as we watch these guys now brawling. MVP Rob Van Dam, and that kick was to the throat, Todd.
It was going to be very tough for MVP to breathe after that. Pinpoint strike, that standing side kick, thrust kick, right to the throat. And this thing hasn't sniffed the ring in quite some time.
And Rob now carrying MVP by the throat and the back of the head, guiding him through the audience, setting him up for more danger. An inverted atomic drop followed by a big kick. And folks, we are trying our damnedest to pick up this action as it has spilled out and pandemonium ensues here at PCW Arena.
One big mosh pit out there as champion and challenger have just been enveloped by the PCW faithful. Well, they're out there somewhere.
And this gives us a moment to reflect on the history of this title. And for Rob Van Dam to be the bearer of the PCW Heavyweight Championship coming into tonight's event, it's absolutely incredible what he's gone through. Defeating Penta El Zero M, defeating Willie Mack, one of SoCal's brightest stars. Oh man.
Nice
and
steps,
MVP
yes.
just getting slammed on the cement.
Yeah, nothing there to break his fall. Van Dam stepping through, tripping him up. Variation of the STO on the cold, unforgiving concrete. It'll shudder every inch of the veteran body of MVP. Again, it doesn't look like it right now. It looks like an absolute bar fight, but this is a PCW Heavyweight Championship match.
And look at business casual La Parka.
This thing coming completely unraveled like an unhusked mollusk, everything just falling apart. And a slam, scoop and a slam, and MVP just ebbing, flowing back and forth. You know, both guys, I think, went out there, Christian, to try and get the advantage, but it really hasn't worked to the benefit of either because they're both eating a ton of punishment. Legendary careers, yes, Christian Cole, but they might be cut short after this night.
And on a night full of firsts, for the first time ever, we watched these two men lock it up as they brawl to the outside. MVP, the challenger, Rob Van Dam, the champion. And they went, did he throw him into the window?
A sickening thud for sure, as we're, again, our staff doing a phenomenal job, but you see a humanity and all of a sudden it's like thunder striking.
And don't forget, Todd, before this heavyweight title match started, as they make their way back to the ring, John Hennigan showed up. John Hennigan said that the winner of this match will face him.
There might not be anything left of champion or challenger, because Van Dam and MVP taking one another to task on the outside. But yes, you're right, Hennigan showing up. Now,
I mean, who the hell does John Hennigan think he is to come in here and just say and just claim a heavyweight title match against one of these two stars? But that match is happening. PCW management signed it. And it'll be John Hennigan versus the PCW heavyweight champion on June 2nd.
Yeah, who's it going to be?
Will it be John Hennigan versus Rob Van Dam? Will it be John Hennigan versus MVP? We're about to find out, folks.
No matter how you slice it, that'll be an incredible main event. But we still have a lot to determine here. They're getting awfully close. Reversal.
Whoa.
By MVP.
And the action spilled out right in front of us.
Right on our doorstep.
And who the hell? And now MVP lifting the champion, Rob Van Dam, directly in front of us.
MVP.
Walking him back towards the ring.
You're right, just might try and beat Van Dam at his own game.
And now, Porter with
DDT
DDT
on the chair. The champ is out.
And incredible action as it spills out here, Todd. This is right in front of us. I mean, this is exactly what you'd expect in a barroom brawl.
Did you hear that, Christian Cole? The chair and then right down into the concrete. But again, he cannot win the title right here, Christian. He's got to get him back to the ring. This is what happens when two legends collide to prove who is the better man. When championship gold is on the line, you leave it all. You leave it all out there. You sell out. You leave everything you got inside, outside the ring, and that's what these two are doing.
Wow. And there is a nervousness around the room when it comes to this title and what will happen with this heavyweight championship. What will the future hold for both of these warriors?
Little receipt there by MVP. Van Dam hit that thrust kick square to the throat earlier, and now the barricade. This place is being completely destroyed. Bodies are being destroyed, and the championship's going to change hands, but not yet. But it doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost any more to try again, Christian.
2 covers in a row, 2 counts, and now a third cover, and now 3 2 counts. Everything in this building is destroyed. There are chairs strewn everywhere. There are children crying.
A man was incinerated earlier with a fireball. And, you know, yeah, I don't think PCW is going to get the security deposit back.
And as we watch now, Rob getting sent into the corner, and the champion's in trouble here. Oh, and a big Yakuza kick. Maybe a half dozen thus far.
He got it. He got all of it. Nowhere to go but down here for Rob Van Dam.
Exploder suplex. And only 2 now from referee Rick Knox. And if there's one thing, Todd Kennelly, that I know for a fact will live on, it's the spirit of Rob Van Dam.
Uh-oh. Look out here. He was looking for the playmaker. Could not hit it. And champion and challenger continue to brawl here. Perhaps second time's the charm, rolling through. Playmaker, but will it be a history maker? Are we looking at the
There's
next
a cover.
PCW champion? Here we go.
Oh no! Just two. And for MVP, you could see the frustration mounting as he wonders and ponders. How can he get the victory? How can he pin Rob's shoulders to the mat for 3 seconds? He's tried everything.
Well, he's put a lot of superstars away with that playmaker, but couldn't put away RVD. Couldn't vanquish the title reign, at least not yet. But what is left of the champion here, Christian? He's on pure fumes, on instinct at this point.
And Rob Van Dam now in bad trouble.
Looking for it again. Van Dam manages a counter, step through, and now he's playing the hits and laying them on the challenger. This place is one giant insane asylum tonight, Christian Cole.
And a double down count now up to a 3 from the veteran referee as Rob now instinctively reaches for that chair.
Well, we might have makings of a little tug of war here in the middle of this main event matchup. Title on the line, but right now the prize they're looking for is that chair to unleash more damage and put them away. Counter by Van Dam, goes upstairs and down goes the challenger. And now he's paying the price in this matchup. MVP in trouble. The champion is rolling, literally rolling thunder, but countered by the challenger.
MVP with an incredible counter. And Rob now feeling it in the lower back. Oh, and a double shot to the throat. And MVP pulling out all the stops. Getting a little heat from this LA crowd, from the champion's home crowd.
Van Dam was rolling, but MVP is balling.
And Porter now electing not to go for the cover. MVP.
Oh man.
Fisherman's hook.
He's fishing for the title. Gonna catch a big one, no. Executed it perfectly, you might say, even at this point. Instincts kicking in for both men.
And you could see the frustration building in the eyes of MVP as he can't figure out just what it needs to take to put this man away, to put this champion on his back.
Christian, at what point do their bodies just give? I mean, how do they have anything left at this point?
After the schedule that these guys worked for a combined 40 years, it's incredible to see how well they still go. And for Rob to carry a title in this company, the top indie company in the world right now, the top professional wrestling company, for Rob Van Dam to be our champion is nothing short of amazing. Rob with a reversal, follows it in with a spinning high kick.
But with what he's displayed, MVP could be a great champion as well, but Van Dam digging down deep. Where on earth is he fighting this? Gonna innovate some violence.
Oh, God.
Both guys fall to the outside. I don't know if they even have what it takes to get back in the ring at this point, Christian. I mean, this has been a hellacious battle since the opening bell. It has gone all around the building. They have laid waste to one another, all for a shot to walk out of here, if that's even physically possible at this point, as the champion.
And Rob Van Dam now looks a little loopy, a little worse for wear, even though he is controlling this action at this time, or has at least in recent moments of the match. It would just seem to me like these guys got nothing left.
It's that tug of war we spoke of.
Both going for that steel chair this time.
Fumble on the play and recovered there by the challenger. MVP, swing and a miss. Van Daminator. Last ditch effort there by Van Dam.
And a picture perfect Van Daminator from Rob Van Dam. As Van Dam now goes to the place he feels most comfortable, to the top turnbuckle. nearest his home fans. Van Dam looks for approval and first identifies himself.
This is how he won the title. This is how he defended against Willie Mack. Will he defend it again? Yes, he will.
His opponent is our current reigning and defending PCW Heavyweight Champion from Battle Creek, Michigan, weighing 252 pounds. He is Mr. PCW, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. One fall, 60 minutes, anything goes for the PCW Heavyweight Championship.
Stage is set, PCW heavyweight title on the line. If you're not excited for this one, check and make sure you have a pulse. What a match this is gonna be, and despite Hennigan growing up nearby, it seems to me that Mr. PCW has the hometown advantage. Van Dam, ultra confident as always, likes to have a little fun in and out of the ring. And the mayor of Slamtown, John Hennigan, AKA Boone the Bounty Hunter, he wants to take home the ultimate bounty here tonight and take home the PCW title. But Hennigan not used to facing guys that can hang with him athletically as well, and Rob RVD can do just that. This is going to be an incredible encounter. Cannot wait as the anticipation builds here at Showdown.
Both men playing with the crowd here. Keep in mind, TK, these guys have a lot of respect for each other. These two competitors know each other very well. But this match is a no disqualification match, and that changes everything.
That athleticism shown early on. Yeah, on paper I agree. You would think that that would favor RVD, this being no disqualification, because he will take it to the extreme. But Hennigan, no stranger, former Gift of the Gods champion, Lucha Warfare, he can go extreme too. Can Van Dam, is he going to match backflip for backflip here? I love it.
Love it. Rob doesn't need to prove himself to anybody. He is the reigning and defending PCW heavyweight champion. Rob Van Dam has traveled the whole world, and look at Hennigan here.
It's not going to be on the line in a floor exercise in the gymnastics competition.
Wow, he is so hot.
There you see it.
He is the hottest wrestler.
I thought Miss Gore was.
Well, she's the hottest mystery woman. Of course, Miss Gore of War Beast earlier in our card. But for John Hennigan, I mean, this guy stays in such good shape.
Shaman Sexy trying to catch the champ off guard, but the champion, a wily veteran, was wise to it. Van Dam with the takedown. Now the head scissors by Hennigan. Van Dam out of there. Love that body scissors into the cover. Great action to kick things off. Back and forth. Hennigan now going for the cover. And we've got ourselves a standoff. What an atmosphere.
And that is a microcosm of the way this match will likely develop. Back and forth, each man matching the other. Two men who are as equally measured as athletes in this sport as any two. And will John Hennigan walk out with the 10 pounds of leather and gold with that PCW logo on the front of it? The premier title in this company, the PCW Heavyweight Championship. Or will Rob Van Dam go on his magical run and continue as the PCW Heavyweight Champion?
Three people have been in the ring with RVD here in PCW, and what a three it's been. Penta El Zero M,
3-0.
Willie Mack, and MVP, and they all came up short against the current champ. Will Hennigan be any different? Hennigan caught him coming back in the ring. Second man in, always at a disadvantage. Mind games.
Oh, look at that. Able to push Rob over the top, and now follows with a super kick, and that landed right on the button, and Van Dam's hurt.
And again, it's such a unique matchup because that is right out of the RVD playbook. Corkscrew plancha attempt but Van Dam, how on earth did he escape that? And catches him with the clothesline.
Man.
Great defense there by the champion.
And not only did the force of that lariat hurt Hennigan, but Hennigan landing on the cement there, and that cement is cold, hard, and unforgiving.
Welcome to PCW John Hennigan. Again, anything goes, no count out, no disqualification. There must be a winner. PCW title on the line, right in the wheelhouse of the champion RVD, one would think.
Now look at Rob, the champion, but a reversal, ooh, and right into the rib cage. Van Dam able to hit his brakes a little bit and then follows with a boot to the face of Hennigan. And a double clothesline and both men crashing down on the cement. And you can see it just under the bodies of Rob Van Dam and John Hennigan is that hard cement.
Does the champ perhaps have the advantage here because Hennigan has hit that hard concrete twice?
Oh, look at this, Todd.
Champion looking for an equalizer, as is the challenger.
That's a poster.
Probably of himself, if I had to guess. Challenger's got a bit of an ego.
Hennigan is beating him with a poster.
On paper, this would be a bad idea, but it's working.
And who's going to replace that fan's poster? Well, he likes it. Never mind.
It's worth even more now.
Probably.
Hennigan, the challenger, in control, getting the best of Van Dam on the outside where anything goes, and that is usually a losing proposition.
And now Hennigan. Great chair shot to the ribs. Hennigan understanding the rules and limitations of this match, that it is a no disqualification match, and trying to get the better of his opponent who's known for violence, and that's Rob Van Dam.
Hennigan now, oh, what
God.
a knee!
Jeez.
Excuse me, high heat right across the plate, and the champ just might strike out. Unreal strike there by Hennigan, and he really measured the champion Van Dam.
Hennigan now dragging the body of Rob. That shot really took it out of Rob. He's hurt.
Point needs to be made though, Christian. Although it's no disqualification, it is not falls count anywhere. If Hennigan wants to win the title, he's got to get the champion back inside the ring to put him away.
And this is inherently the problem in a match like this. If you get a guy out on his feet, if he's down on the outside, oh, Rob seemed to have tripped up Hennigan there as Hennigan looked to go high risk off the guardrail. But if you knock a guy out on the outside of the ring, Todd, then you're faced with the burden of trying to pull him back into the ring. And pulling a guy that's 200 plus pounds of dead weight into the squared circle is a difficult task, to say the least.
No doubt Van Dam billed at 251 by ring announcer Dan Masters here tonight. And it was truly high-risk offense by Hennigan, and it did pay off. And now Van Dam trying to capitalize in his own right. And just look at this sea of humanity. The PCW Memorial Hall that Van Dam has turned, he's rewound the clock. He's turned it into his own bingo hall here. Nice drop kick there by the champion.
Todd, Van Dam has not lost a step, man. I mean, this guy looks like he's 22 years old still. When he wrestles in front of me, I feel like I'm in the Hammerstein watching ECW, and nothing has changed.
It's like a time warp, it truly is. And Van Dam truly has proven to be an innovator of violence in his own right here in PCW. And there go the social plans for the Shaman of Sexy later tonight.
Big kick there by Van Dam. And Van Dam now taking in the adulation of the crowd. But for Van Dam now facing the same problem as Morrison did, as Hennigan did earlier. Try to get that opponent isolated in the ring for the pinfall.
True, but this has been the recipe of success if you follow the matches of Van Dam here in PCW. Okay, it's a game of can you top this early. Get the advantage on the outside, although not the case here as Van Dam hit throat first, and that will do damage to the larynx.
You can see him wincing, you can see the pain on the face of RVD. He took that chair shot right to the trachea, TK.
You know, when you're in a championship series, you got to get a win or two in the other team's home, and that's what Hennigan's trying to do. Get a win here on the outside, the home of RVD. Get the advantage here and put him away back inside the ring. That's what the challenger has in mind.
The majority of this match has taken place on the outside. Look at this. Oh, now fighting back is Rob. He's had enough. And Rob, frustrated now, brawls with Morrison on the outside. An Irish whip, Morrison in a reversal. Baseball slide
my gosh.
under the guardrail.
Safe! Oh, sliding into home. Are you kidding me?
The athleticism of John Hennigan, as Hennigan now eating that rail himself. And that damage to the trachea will start to add up.
Hennigan so impressive, but is it going to be enough? You know, he does a lot of stuff that's flashy, that looks cool, but Van Dam, the champion, he's not wasting energy and moves. He's pinpoint, hits with the drop kick, baseball style, and takes over the advantage.
Look at this now, setting up what might be a standing suplex, positioning himself. Oh wow, RVD now putting Hennigan on the guardrail, and RVD, what is he thinking here?
Call the executioner, my friend, because it's guillotine time. Get the basket ready for the head of the challenger. Van Dam gets the blessing of the crowd and delivers again, playing the hits, my friend.
Vintage Rob Van Dam as that guillotine maneuver landing successfully on the guardrail. You know, I gotta mention it, partner. As the fans start to talk PCW, chanting it over and over again. I keep calling him by his alias, John Hennigan. It's because I've been watching him for so long, and I've become so accustomed to the star that he is around this world. It's difficult for me to remember that John Hennigan wants to go by his birth name now. He said to me earlier he wants to honor the Hennigan name. And now what is he going to do here? Because he's in big trouble here.
Van Dam thinking pile driver on the floor. Backdrop now and a chair for good measure. Short flight, bad landing for the champion.
Look at Morrison clinking beers. Wow, he's drinking on the job. What a degenerate. How does he keep those abs with all those calories? How is he so hot?
Better be
with
careful.
Such cold beer.
Better be careful. He's not going to be able to slide under those guardrails anymore. Get those carbs. But
look at Hennigan now.
Challenger back in control, and again, the time of possession it's really been on the outside of the ring, and now Hennigan realizes, if I want to take home the gold, if I want to go be 10 pounds heavier, as he mentioned, taking home the gold, he's got to win it inside the ring.
And it seems that Hennigan's listening to you.
Hennigan got the advantage on the outside.
He did, and now trying to finish it in the ring. Wow, look at that maneuver by Hennigan. I've never seen that, but unable to land.
And that's been the story of the matchup. Now, counter into the Northern Light suplex with the bridge.
2.5 only. As you can see now, the face of Rob Van Dam tells the story. Rob, he absolutely values this title more than anything in his life.
Hennigan is going to maybe have to transition to strikes. He needs steak and sizzle. Look out here. Moonlight drive. Oh, and did he ever wrench the neck, and now holding on. Perhaps again. Yes.
Hennigan controlling it now with that front chancery. And Hennigan, again, a third moonlight drive. And Rob's out, but his foot's on the rope. Hennigan able to hook both legs in just 2. Veteran referee Rick Knox, one of the best in the game. Only 2 there, and the championship remains around the waist of Rob Van Dam for now.
Absolutely, and Hennigan has put away countless adversaries with that moonlight drive. Now, we talked about he's spent some time in Lucha, but that was just an ungodly 3 amigos there. 3 moonlight drives, and now perhaps get the rocket ship ready. Might be time for Starship Pain, but Van Dam counters.
Big kick out there. Hennigan staying in this match. Hennigan now with a big right hand. And an answer by RVD. These 2 men exchanging blows in the center of the ring. Big balled up fists.
Tough to come into the house that RVD belt and maintain an advantage, but that is what the champion has had to endure here at the hands of the challenger. Hennigan step through, kick on the money by Van Dam as the champ starts to roll.
Look at that. Hennigan in perfect position. If Rob Van Dam wants to go old school here, and he will.
Roll indeed.
Rolling Thunder by Rob Van Dam. And now Van Dam in a great position to retain his PCW Heavyweight Championship.
Sure is. Van Dam, since debuting at Clear the Way, has smoked the competition.
I love how he goes up to the top like that.
Looking to light up the challenger here. Forget the starships, it's all about the stars. As in 5-star, but nobody home for the 5-star frog splash.
Oh, look at
Cradle
this.
the other way. Gonna beat him with wrestling perhaps? No, not yet.
Man, that was so close. And for Hennigan, you saw the frustration as he slammed hard on the mat with his right hand.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow. Oh, beautiful kick by Van Dam. Lifting his leg almost perpendicular to his own body.
Great counter. Now split-legged moonsault there by the champion. One of his signatures, another signature win in his career. Not yet,
Just
only
two.
two. Yes, sir.
And look at Van Dam now, exhausted. As Van Dam rises to his feet, you could tell this PCW Heavyweight Championship means everything to Rob Van Dam.
And now a counter the
What
other
was
way.
that?
It's
Hey.
no, oh my goodness, but it's no disqualification.
Smart move by John Hennigan. And look at Hennigan.
Blast off to the title, Starship Pain.
Oh my God.
Your winner of the match and new PCW Heavyweight Champion, John Hennigan.
What
John-
a match. What a moment. Christian Cole, a mixed reaction here.
And John Hennigan is the new PCW Heavyweight Champion. I cannot believe my eyes as history has been made at Showdown.
I think some of the fans not really happy about how Hennigan went about it. But we talked about if anybody could beat Van Dam in its own game, it was Hennigan. And he did it by taking it to the extreme. The low blow, perfectly legal in this environment. And then the Starship Pain, Hennigan blasting off to the stratosphere.
You can see the mutual respect between Hennigan and Rob Van Dam.
From 5-star now to Starship. A lot of star power in PCW, my man.
And what a run for Rob Van Dam. We have to take a moment to talk about Van Dam's incredible history-making run at PCW. Van Dam, the second ever PCW Heavyweight Champion, is incredible.